Hey guys, it's Noel here. Welcome to Tech Tuesday on In-Flight Video, and as you know, this is where you will find all the information about the tools that I use on the internet, the technology that I use when I'm filming my flights, all sorts of reviews and overviews of how I do the things that I do that brings these full flight videos to you and hopefully helps you out a little bit with your own full flight videos and travel adventures. So today, guys, I'm going to be talking to you about a website called ITA Matrix, and this is a site that essentially allows it's a flight search basically. It allows you to find all sorts of flights. You can search through the airline's booking systems directly, find all the information about all the flights that you want, make up some really random itineraries, and allows you basically to find flights that are quite interesting to take and obviously get you to where you need to be quickly and easily. This is a service that is run by Google. It's a little known Google service. They're not allowed to publish it for some sort of reason. I think it's part of the condition that they have when they bought it. But there is kind of two sides to it that I want to show you today. There is a kind of techie side that geeks like me like to use. And there's also a quite easy to use interface through Google Flights as well that is easier for people to use when they're just looking for a quick flight somewhere and don't want to have to remember codes and things like that. So onwards with the video. I will show you everything that I've found so far about ITA Matrix and show you really how it helps me to book the flights that I take. So here is the website. The URL is up here in the top. It is matrix.itasoftware.com, and this website is also linked to in the description below for you, so you can click straight through to it and see how we basically get straight to the website. It's quite a straightforward form. As you can see, very simple website. A little mention about it being Google down the right hand side. You're built to run on Google technology, but like I say, there's not much on here that would let you see that it's a Google website. It is probably my most visited website of all of the travel websites. I'm on here all the time trying to find new itineraries to take, new flights to take for you guys to film them for you, and it allows you basically to search from anything from a simple flight to an advanced itinerary all through here. Now, one important thing to note here, this website does not let you book flights directly through it. They're not allowed to sell flights through this website. It says here tickets cannot be purchased directly from ITA. If you find a fare you like, then essentially you've got to go to another website like Expedia or Podo and a number of other websites, of which there are a ton, and you can book your flights on there. This just shows you the itineraries that are valid and helps you to find what you might be looking for. For example, let's do a very simple flight here from London to Stockholm. This is a flight that I'm going to be taking soon, so I thought I could just show you this and show you how it works. Let's do a one-way flight, and we'll do a one-way flight in June of next year. No particular reason other than I'm flying it on that day. You can search through all sorts of things. I'll go through some of the advanced routing codes and things in a few minutes for you. It's a little bit, it can be a little bit kind of in depth, but as you kind of learn to use it, it becomes a very flexible tool and one that's really easy to use. So we're going to search for flights in the cheapest cabin with no limit on starts. We'll just do a very simple search and hit search and find the flights that come back. And as we can see, as expected, there's quite a few flights from SAS on here. It shows you the price here, so £63 for these flights. Gives you all the information about them here. This is basically, you could get all this information just by going to SAS's website. This is a very simple itinerary. It gives you an overview of all the different options that you have here. You can sort by departure time, arrival time, duration of the flight, all sorts of things like that. It gives you ideas. Even this one, for example, has a long layover and it's an overnight flight as well. Why you'd want to take an overnight flight to get to Stockholm when there's one that leaves just before it that gets in the same afternoon. It's a little bit strange, but these are essentially all the options that you could book. You might want to stay over in Oslo for the night, for example, and this would be a perfect flight. A lot of websites won't give you all of this information. They'll give you the easiest flights, such as direct one London to Stockholm. They'll give you one that goes through Amsterdam, for example, with KLM that's probably not showing on here. But ITA Matrix, Show Matrix ITA, whichever way you want to call it, shows you all of them really. It shows you all of the options that you have for taking certain flights. I find this really handy. Now, something that this does really well is something called advanced routing codes. So you can enter a travel agency code here. Now there is guides on the internet of how to do this. There are numerous websites that show you all the different options for routing codes and what you can put in there. This isn't going to be a tutorial that shows you kind of all of the options. I will put a link in the description to the website where you can find all these different routing codes and search in a different way. But for example, if we wanted to fly from London to Stockholm or Arlanda, and we wanted to fly via Istanbul, for example, let's see if we can find the flight through Istanbul to Stockholm. It's a sort of random routing that most people wouldn't want to take, but if I'm making a video for in-flight video, I might want to take this route. So if I click on search here, it'll take a little bit longer because it's having to work a little bit harder. And here we go, Turkish Airlines, there we go. It's a long flight, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's an 18.5-hour flight at a minimum with an overnight layover in Istanbul, but it's only £156. You get to do one leg on an Airbus A330 as well. There's a good option for you, for example. So this is only going to show me now flights that are through Istanbul. So for example, if we wanted to find flights from London to Stockholm, we've obviously just searched for flights that are through Istanbul. You can add all sorts of information in here. If you click on the little question mark, it gives you an idea. So you can say direct flights on specific carriers, direct flights on one of carriers specified, for example. You can add other options in here as well, so you can add commas in and connecting. So if I want to say Dallas, so this is an example. So if you want to connect the connection I've just showed you through Istanbul, I might not want to fly just through Istanbul. You could search for Istanbul or Amsterdam, for example, and find flights that are going through Amsterdam to Stockholm. And again, here we go. So KLM, there's a load of flights here through Amsterdam. There's some through Istanbul, exactly as we've searched for. You can also search for flights that are, for example, non-stop only. If we go here, there's examples here. So you can find, this is really useful, really. Certain flight numbers you can do, not an airline. So if you wanted to search for a flight that was on any airline at all, but not on United, for example, then you could put in here, if I do a squiggle and put BA and do a search, it would find me all flights from London to Stockholm that aren't on British Airways. Clearly we are going to have issues here. These are Finnair flights. I'm guessing some of these operated as code shares by British Airways, but it can't do everything, let's face it. It gives you an idea of what that functionality does. If you wanted to fly on there, for example. One of the other really good options that you can do is to find flights that are only operated by certain types of aircraft. For example, you could search here for flights from London to Glasgow, so from Birmingham to Glasgow rather, on the June the 17th. Let's bring that forward a little bit. Let's go forward to November the 18th. And hit search. We can find flights there. Flybe are listed on ITA Matrix ITA, however we call it. And you see here, there's loads of flights here. These are all operated by Dash 8, which are turboprop aircraft. If we wanted to search for flights now that, I don't know, my mother is flying on this flight, she doesn't like turboprop aircraft, and she doesn't want to be on any of these flights that are operated by Dash 8s. Or anything like that, you can specify in here, put a little command in and say we don't want turboprop aircraft operated flights, and we're probably going to be struggling for direct flights because they're all turboprops. But as you can see, the options now that it gives us are all connecting through Paris or through Amsterdam or through from Dusseldorf maybe. These are the sorts of flights that I would take, and most people probably wouldn't. But it gives you an idea, and you can see if you go to the details tab, these are flights that are operated by Airbus A320 and A319s, so it's quite a good option there really if you want to do searches like that. Now, like I said, this is not going to be a tutorial that goes through all of the commands. There are a ton, there are loads of different options you can choose, but it gives you an idea of what you can do using this tool. It's a great tool if you want to learn about how the travel agency software works. This is great. It's all completely free of charge. There's nothing at all to do on here to pay for at all. Like I said, the only thing is you can't actually book your flights through it. You have to go to another website to do that. Now, this being Google, Google has an option for people who aren't like me and who actually want to make things a little bit easier. They have Google Flights, and again, it's a website that a lot of people probably haven't realised exists. I've spoken to people before and they've no idea that Google has a flights search website. This is linked to Matrix, ITA Matrix. However, it's really, really easy to use. You can search to anywhere. I mean, if you look at, like I said, try South America, for example. I've just hit Birmingham and it gives me the option to find flights. It shows you all of the places where you have flights to down here. Say I want to find a flight to Amsterdam from Birmingham on the 15th of November, coming back on the 19th. And it basically finds you the best flights. It doesn't look for the cheapest, it doesn't look for the earliest, it doesn't look for the fastest, it looks for the best. It's the best combination of price and timing, and it's something that Google seems to do really well with this. For example, if you see here, it's found a £75 trip that's an hour and 15 minutes. It's pulling that as the best flight to take. It's at a decent time of the day, it's not too expensive or anything like that. You can sort it, of course, by different things like that, and it also gives you options as well if you want to fly on a different date. If we did, for example, that we want to fly back the same day, you can just click through there and it says here, date tip, look, save £16 if you return 1 day later. Is 1 day later going to be worth £16? That is up to you. You're not going to find a hotel room for £16, so it's probably not worth it. However, it's just an example of what it does really. And you can click on this map here as well and find all the places that you can fly from Birmingham with prices on the map. It's £86 to Amsterdam. If you were stopping somewhere near, like halfway between Amsterdam and Rotterdam, you might consider going to Rotterdam. It's only £74. You don't want to fly to Munster, that's £728. But it gives you an idea. You could fly to all of these places for the prices that they charge. I have no idea why this place is or why it's so expensive, but you could fly there if you wanted to. Had a spare £800 to spend. You could fly to Brive-la-Gaillarde in France. For some reason it seems to think that flights from Birmingham to Ibiza are £1,700 as well, which is clearly not the case. Now, something worth, and that's just reminding me that something worth mentioning here is that this isn't going to find you charter flights with Monarch, with Thomas Cook or Thomson or any of the other airlines that fly charter flights. This is going to find you scheduled flights only. So if you're looking at a flight to Ibiza, I would imagine that flight is connecting through Madrid or connecting through other places as well. And in fact, if we click on it, we can find that and why they're charging £1,700. Here we go, one stop KLM. If you were to find a flight with Thomas Cook, for example, you'd find it a lot cheaper than that. But it's a great website to use when you're looking between this and ITA Matrix. I sit for hours sometimes on these websites going through all the different options for flights and trying to connect and trying to work out the cheapest way of getting where I want to go, realistic timings of flights and things like that. It's all very handy, and in combination, of course, with the website that I showed you previously, the Expert Fly website, you can clearly get all the information that you need to form quite a good idea of what you want to be, the routes that you want to be flying on. So guys, I hope you found this useful today, showing you through a couple of websites. Just a very quick overview. Like I said, there's detailed information in the link below about how to get the most out of these websites. It's just an overview of one of the sites that I use to get the flights that I get. Hope you find this really useful, and if you, I know I keep going on about this, but if you are interested, I have a site over at Patreon, which allows you to basically give a little bit back to in-flight video. If you enjoy the flights that I do and you'd like to try and help us out, for as little as $1 a month you can contribute to in-flight video. You can help me to get decent seats on flights, it goes towards paying for things like hosting and things like that for you guys, and so I can bring you all of these videos. And like I say, for as little as $1 a month you can help support in-flight video, and in return for that $1, aside from getting the fact that you help in-flight video out, you get early access to all of my full flight videos that I release. They're all out up to a month ahead of everybody else, so you can enjoy those. You also get to do live hangouts with me, so you can sit and we'll have a video chat together. Once a month I do that, and also things like mentions in videos and things like that, all sorts of other perks that you get, and they're all listed over at Patreon. If you could click on the link down below, we'd love to see you over on the Patreon, and hopefully we'd like to see you over there. Now guys, thanks once again for watching today's video. Please click like and comment and everything else that makes you guys so awesome, and share the videos. And obviously if you like the videos and you've not already done it, please hit that subscribe button. I would absolutely love to be able to share my videos with you as soon as they come out. Speak to you soon guys. Thanks very much for watching today.